Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this late hour in black and white. I'm glad you could be here to watch and be a part of two desperate prisoners' escape from the dark castle. Let's begin. We are once again back in the dark castle. Last time the cook and the tanner tried to escape their prison cells. Go watch that episode if you haven't done so already. You'll find a link in the description. But now we have the butcher and the tailor, and they will try to find their way through the dark castle and their way to freedom. The butcher's strongest ability is might, but he is not weak in any of the other categories. And then he has a die with split doubles. He is from one of the expansions of this game, and we will play with some of the expansions this time. The tailor has cunning as her best ability, then wisdom, and finally might. And this time both prisoners will also have a character flaw or a personal trait. The tailor will choose to be greedy, and that means she can restore more hit points during the escape. I bet that will be very useful. And the butcher is ruthless, so one time he's able to attack twice in a single round. So both characters can only use their character flaw one time during the escape. And another thing that will add to the tension this time is the death dice from the collector's box. The death dice have double traits and also shields, so now the monsters can have shields and doubles as well. And we will see how that turns out when we play the game. All the items are shuffled and ready, and the castle is built with one final end battle boss, 15 chapters, and a beginning card. Both our prisoners are ready with 18 hit points, so only one thing left, and that is to decide who will be you. And the butcher will begin the game as you. Let's go. Leaving behind your despicable confinement at last, you hurry to the foretold location and pray the legend is true, and it is. You have found the secret passage. Discard a chapter card from the castle deck. So that means our way through the castle will be slightly shorter, but we will only draw one item card. So not much equipment to begin with. And then it's time to find our way through the castle. There's no time to lose. So let's pick one item, and that is a potion. Discard instead of losing hit points. That's always useful. We'll give that to the butcher. He is you, after all. Now, let's continue. So what do we have here? A hooded man approaches. He looks cautiously over his shoulder and then whispers, asking if you wish to trade. So we can discard an item. We don't have many items, or we can try to roll double in one attempt, and then we will draw an item card. I think we'll take the chance and let's see if the butcher can roll doubles. No items. Still short on items, but at least it was not a monster. You stumble upon an enticing store of castle supplies. As you approach, the portcullis begin to lower. You must act quickly. Nominate one player to try and prevent it closing, and a cunning player to retrieve items. That's great, because the butcher is strong and the tailor is cunning. So the butcher will have to roll might in one attempt, and he's good. So he will hold the portcullis up, and now the tailor must try to retrieve an item. So she must roll cunning in one attempt, and then she can draw one item, two, if she rolls doubles. Come on, Tailor. And it's double cunning. Great. 2 items, just what we needed. Let's see what we get. Something good. Come on. Oh, it looks really good. The Fury Shard. Once per round of combat, when you roll doubles, you can roll again, and a Decayed Blade. If you roll Wisdom, you have a second attempt. Well, not bad. Let's see. It's a one-handed weapon, so the butcher could carry it, and the tailor could take the Fury Shard. But on the other hand, it's when you roll Wisdom, and the tailor is more wise than the butcher. So I think we'll do it this way. Great. Let's continue. Yeah, and of course, it was just a matter of time before we would stumble into something horrible. The smell of manure is thick as you enter this chamber, flanked by wooden animal stalls. So here we have an agitated beast of burden, broken free, and it's cornered, and it has horns. And it has a combat special as well. Each round when it attacks, the creature deals an additional 1 hit point of damage to whoever hits it. But now we will roll the death dice. Every time you see the symbol, you will roll 1 death dice per prisoner. So besides cunning, the creature also has doubles, might and cunning, and a shield. And it takes doubles to remove shields, and our prisoners can of course combine their dice symbols anyway to remove any of the beast's dice. And it will do 2 points of damage each turn. Let's see if they can survive. And the butcher rolls a split double and a shield, so he will not be harmed, and the tailor rolls a cunning. So we can remove 1 dice. We could actually remove the shield and the cunning, but then we will have a double for the next round. So let's see if this could be a better option. But the tailor will be hit and lose 3 hit points because she did damage to the beast. Second chance. A double again, and that one will remove the shield, and then the tailor has a cunning, and that means they destroy the beast in their second combat round. And as a reward, we will draw an item. A Brew of Might. Well, let's give it to the tailor. She could use it sometimes. I think we will let the butcher continue as he is unharmed after all. And what now? You are knocked unconscious and dragged down a side passage. You awake strapped to a table where a man in a filthy apron is scraping rust from a jagged blade. Oh my god, the butcher is a test subject for the castle's torture, and he must endure the pain for 5 rounds. Unless he rolls might or doubles, he will lose 1 hit point each round, potentially 5 hit points. But he is strong. Let's see. And he will begin with a might. And he will continue with a double. And then a wisdom. He will lose 1 hit point here. 2 rounds left. A cunning. Damn it. 1 more hit point. And, well, finally, doubles. So he will escape the torturer, but he lost 2 hit points. The butcher and the tailor are together again, and they continue through the dark corridors of the castle. And they meet a drunken guard. He stops you and demands to know your business. He's unsteady on his feet, and his breath is vile. So now we can choose to bribe him by discarding an item, or we could nominate a player to roll wisdom. In that case, the guard will move on, but if the wisdom roll fails, you will lose 1 hit point. Well, the tailor is slightly wiser than the butcher, so I think we'll let the tailor roll wisdom, or at least try to. Come on, tailor. That should be possible. Wisdom it is. And yeah, of course, we will roll doubles now when we don't need it. Ah, too bad. But not the worst enemy though. It could be far worse. The butcher will continue as you, even though they have the same amount of hit points left. And oh, your spirit is suddenly wrenched from your body. Paralyzed, you can only watch as it drifts above you. You are incapacitated. And to restore balance, all other players must roll, and there is only one other player, so the Tailor must roll wisdom equal to the amount of numbers of players. So she will have 3 attempts to roll wisdom, otherwise the butcher will lose 1 hit point, and he will do so. And then double wisdom. That was exactly what we needed, so the butcher's spirit is back in his body. And we're still doing pretty good. Now I think the Tailor will continue through the castle as you. Now let's see if we can find a meal or a hot bath or something, but instead, several armed figures spring from the shadows and attack. You become separated, and each player must now fight alone. So each player must roll a chapter dice to see who they are fighting, but if they have 2 items, they must roll 2 dice instead. And that is the case here. So we will begin with the Tailor. She will meet an enemy with might and wisdom, and the butcher, well, exactly the same. And they cannot rest or help each other before they have defeated their enemy. And these muggers will luckily only do 1 hit point of damage each turn. So let's begin with the Tailor. She will fight her enemy and she will roll wisdom. And with the decayed blade, she could roll again. And I think she'll try because she could roll doubles and then she, well, the same. So she will remove 1 wisdom and lose not 2, but 1 hit point. And now the butcher will fight on his own. And he will, of course, roll might and remove 1 of the enemy's chapter dice. And he will also be hit and lose 1 hit points. So next up, the Tailor again. And she rolls might. And that means she defeats her enemy and she will take no damage. Let's see if the butcher can do the same. He will need wisdom. And he is not very wise. Unfortunately, he will lose a hit point. Now the Tailor is able to aid him in combat. So they both can fight and see if they can get rid of the last mocker. No, they both fail and the butcher will once again take damage. And again, the Tailor rolls a shield that will not help the butcher in any way. Come on. Incredibly, they cannot seem to roll any wisdom. Finally. And then 2. Well, that cost a lot. The butcher is heavily wounded now. Let's see if they can find some healing items. They can't. Wisdom instead. Yeah, I think we'll let the Tailor keep the distilled wisdom here. She might use that more than might in the future. And the Tailor has now way more hit points left. She will continue as you. The only way forward is down a dizzying set of spiral stairs, which look ready to collapse. Gingerly, at first you begin the long descent into darkness. Now each player must roll double in 1 attempt to make it down the stairs. And they have 3 tries. And for each failure, they will lose 1 hit point. So they will have to roll 3 times. Let's roll doubles. Come on. And none of them are able to roll any doubles at the moment. They will both lose 1 hit point. Come on. And then the butcher is down, safe. The tailor is still on her way down the stairs, and she ends up at the bottom of this shaft with 3 hit points of damage. Very, very clumsy. But she still has more hit points though. Well, let's see for how long. This chamber is flanked by caves and littered with gnawed bones. A guttural growl rings out as something emerges. And this is a really tough beast, but we have a choice. We can tackle the beast head on, or we can use hit and run tactics. Head on, and the beast will deal 3 points of damage each round, but it will only have 2 chapter dice. Yeah, I think we'll do that. 2 chapter dice, and we will take him. So 1 double dice here with cunning and might, and 1 shield for the beast. We could eliminate the beast in 1 round if we're lucky. And a double wisdom now and a cunning. Well, the tailor could roll again, but then again it's a shield and she will be unharmed and she can remove the shield from the beast. So the butcher cannot use his cunning for anything, and he will lose 3 hit points unless we use the potion here, and we will do that. So he is unharmed, none of the prisoners take any damage, and now we need 1 might and 1 cunning, and we get 2 cunning, which is completely useless. No shields, no doubles, nothing. Both prisoners will take a hard blow. But the butcher is ruthless. He might be able to roll doubles. Let's see if he can do it. We will use his trait. My God. Wasted and hurt. Come on, this cannot be the end already. Yes, and we have everything we need. We have cunning, we have might, we even have wisdom and shields and everything. But the beast is defeated, and we will take 1 item, and it's another weapon, a rusted flail. Great. The butcher has an empty space, so he can carry it. But is that the best? Yes, I think we'll do it like this. The butcher armed with a rusty flail, the tailor with a decayed blade. Let's continue through the castle. A haggard old woman appears out of nowhere and offers to read your fortune. Something in her eyes speak of a greater power. You feel it's wise to comply. So we must try to roll a trait after our own choice. In 1 attempt, on a success, we will gain 1 hit point or draw an item card. On a failure, we will lose a part of our soul. Of course, the tailor will choose cunning, and of course, the tailor will roll wisdom, and she will lose 1 hit point of soul. And now the butcher, we will choose might. And, well, we get 1 might and a double and everything, so he will restore 1 hit point. Yeah, give and take. It's over. Another chapter done. We'll continue. And your boot catches a tripwire, releasing a shower of acid from above. That sounds really unpleasant. All players must try to roll cunning in 1 attempt. Success, you dodge the trap, but on a failure, you must discard 1 item at random. And both prisoners have 2 items. I don't want to lose anything. Come on, cunning. And she should be able to roll cunning, but she's not. And the butcher, well, he is quite the opposite of what I expected. But the tailor loses 1 of her 2 items, will shuffle them and draw 1 at random here, and she will lose her blade, her weapon, of course. I think the butcher will be kind to her and offer his rusty flail, and then we will continue with the tailor as you. Oh my God, of course. A horrible, monstrous winged creature swoops at you from the darkness above. And the Tailor is you. She must roll cunning or doubles, and this time she really rolls cunning. Oh my god. Otherwise, she would have lost 2 hit points. But it's not over yet. We will have to defeat this monster, and after a player has taken damage, it's no longer possible to block the monster. And the monster is made of cunning, wisdom, a double death dice, and a shield. Oh, no way around this one. We must fight and hope for plenty of doubles. And the Butcher rolls a double, and the Tailor rolls a cunning. The Butcher can use the Fury Shard to roll again, and he will be able to apply both results. So far he's unharmed, and we have the following symbols. Now the Butcher rolls yet another double. So let's see what we can remove, possibly defeating the monster here. We can combine the dice any way we want to, and we can move the shield with another shield, and in the end we have 1 wisdom left. The Tailor will lose 2 hit points, but she has a bottle of wisdom left. So before we continue, she will use that bottle, and that will remove the final chapter dice, and the monster is killed. And she'll of course get her hit points back and draw an item as well. It's a rotten apple, but that is delicious when you're in these dark and dangerous corridors of the castle. And I think we will use the greedy trait of the Tailor, and that will give her 3 hit points instead of 1. I know the Butcher needs them way more, but well, we'll do it like that. We now have 2 chapters left. Remember, we removed 1 chapter because of our start card. And this one doesn't look that bad. You pass through a chamber, and as you pick your way through the filth, something unusual catches your eye. We will draw an item card. And we have drawn the healing verses. So one of the prisoners can heal any player's hit point if doubles are rolled. So we'll give that to the Tailor. Then she will be able to heal the Butcher as well as herself. Now 1 chapter left before the final battle. The Tailor is you. She still has 10 hit points left. The Butcher is ready, armed with the Fury Shard. The Tailor with a rusty flail. Now let's take the final chapter card. Not that bad. This nobleman seems out of place wandering the bowels of the castle. He offers a reward if you do not tell anyone you have seen him. And he is disgusted. Yes, that is possible, but we can escape with an item card. That will be his reward if we don't tell anyone about him. And we draw the rotten shield, but it's good enough to give to the Butcher, and he will lose less hit points if he uses that shield. So now it's time to face the final challenge. The final obstacle before these prisoners can reach their well-deserved freedom. But first they must defeat the Master of Darkness. I may be blind, but I see more than you know. Each round after normal damage, the gargoyle will attack, and we have to roll a chapter die. And if we roll the same trait as one of the character's dice show, then they will lose 1 hit point. And we cannot block the gargoyle. The Master of Darkness will do 3 points of damage, and the gargoyle will do 1. Let's build the Master of Darkness. 1 might, 2 cunning, and a wisdom, and then 2 chapter dice. And that will be might and cunning double and might and wisdom double. It's bad, but it could be worse, I guess. But the Butcher is very, very wounded. He might not even survive 1 combat round, but we will have to take the chance. The Butcher and the Tailor will fight in the first round against the Master of Darkness. Come on. Oh, no doubles. We have to get doubles if we... Yeah, well, we can remove 1 die from the Master of Darkness, and then he will do 3 points of damage. And he will only do 2 points because of the Butcher's shield to him. But then the Gargoyle will attack. Maybe. Let's see what the Gargoyle rolls. Cunning. And of course the Butcher rolled Cunning as well, so he will take an additional wound and lose 1 hit point. He's now down to 1, and he cannot take any more damage. The Tailor must fight alone and roll a single Cunning. And since the Butcher rested, he will get 1 hit point back, but the Tailor will lose 3. She removed another die from the Master of Darkness, and this time the Gargoyle rolls Might, so the Tailor is unharmed. She will fight again, and this time doubles, finally. She'll roll a shield, and she will not be hit by the Master of Darkness. And she will use her healing verses because of her double, and that will give the Butcher another hit point back. And she can, of course, remove the Cunning die from the Master of Darkness. Now she can survive 1 more round, and she rolls Wisdom, so she'll remove the Wisdom dice, and she will take 3 points of damage. Now if the Gargoyle rolls a Wisdom roll now, it's all over. Ooh, close. It rolls Might. And the Butcher will get yet another hit point back. He's well rested now. And that is necessary because now he will fight. The Tailor will rest. Come on. He could potentially defeat the Master of Darkness with a double Might roll. How is that even possible? Well, he will lose only 2 points because of his shield, so if the Gargoyle hits him, and it does, he will have 1 hit point left. So both our prisoners have 1 hit point left, but they still have a chance to roll 2 Might and 1 Wisdom. It comes down to this final dice roll. Come on, prisoners! And it's over. 2 Might, but that will leave 1 Wisdom behind. The Master of Darkness is still alive. The prisoners are not. And this is where I could have edited a slightly happier ending to this video. But Escape from the Dark Castle is a tough and unforgiving game. As the Master of Darkness pulls his punch blade from your liver and kicks your lifeless body to the floor, his plan for your remains is already in motion. While he goes about cutting down your fellow prisoners with practiced ease, his foul gargoyle goes to work plucking out your eyeballs, compelled only by the power of its master's mind. After the master has consumed them, the skulls of you and your band are cracked open like hard-boiled eggs, your brains eaten fresh before they cool. Only in this way will your sight, your experiences, your memory seep into his own hungry consciousness. Everything you have seen, everything you know about the castle and its outlying lands are fused with his own mental map, ready to be drawn up whenever his mind takes flight, fleeing his mortal frame to soar through the castle passages as a winged shadow in his quest to become all-seeing, all-hearing, all-knowing. Your adventure ends here.